Welcome back to Wash Talk, everyone, the Car Wash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today is Max Pulcini, Director of Marketing and Communications for Everwash.
Thanks for having me, Rich. I'm really excited to be part of the show.
Yeah, welcome, Max. I appreciate you joining me today. It's an interesting topic we're discussing, something that's relatively new, I would say, to the car wash industry, considering its long history, and that's car wash membership and trends in the car wash market. And I know Everwash has been at this a little under 10 years now, having broken into the car wash market and helping operators grow and maintain their membership plans. And I've hope you had some time to maybe extrapolate some data and note some trends through your work in the car wash industry that we could discuss today.
Yeah,
Max.
definitely.
Yeah.
Get into it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I recall one of the initial conversations our team at PC&D had with the Everwash staff many years ago, as the founders were transitioning from the gym membership business to the car wash industry. And I remember one of the co-founders, John Cassidy, actually mentioned how, somebody who uses a gym membership a lot, often referred to as a gym rat, is really just a super fan of the car wash. And I know during the early days of adapting membership for many car washes, there was that concern of having somebody use the wash over and over again with only paying a low monthly fee, right?
Yeah.
So I want to know, how do the trends and issues in the gym membership business differ from the trends and issues in the car wash business?
Yeah, it's a great question. And yeah, John he always loved his gym rats, that's for sure. And in the car wash industry, we love our super users. That's what we call them now at Everwash, super users. And that's just folks who are getting more than value for their membership. And that, like you said earlier, Rich, I mean, they're your super fans. They're who you really want to market to. And we'll kind of get into more strategies on how to work the super fans a little bit. But to your question, the differences between the gym industry and the car wash membership business. I mean, on paper, it's easy to see the similarities between the two. They're both disposable income-driven businesses, and it's both a pretty reasonable rate for both types of memberships. Your average gym membership is $40 to $50 per month, and the average wash membership is about $30. So we're looking at $1 a day, give or take, depending on the gym or the wash that you're attending. So the economics are pretty similar on paper, but the differences are vast. Obviously, car washes are very dependent on weather, whereas the gym business is more dependent on personal things and time of year. Like, for example, the busiest times at gyms are New Year's resolution season, right? When everyone thinks, I'm going to get into shape, now's the time to do it. Or maybe they're training for a marathon or getting in shape for their wedding. But, those are very specific, times of year that people are attracted to the gym. Whereas car washes are attractive year round, as long as it's not raining. And that's why membership is such an important thing, because it helps protect those operators from those rainy days. But yeah, another big difference is gyms are selling hope to people. They're selling, results that you can only achieve if you're actually visiting. Whereas car wash, they're providing results through great service right there on the spot, both in terms of the quality of the wash and the quality of the customer service. So there's a big difference there. You might not visit the gym if you yourself aren't using it because you're not taking the initiative to go out there and do it. Whereas a car wash can feel immediately gratifying and right after you take it, right after you get a car wash. It's a happy car, happy life kind of situation, right?
Right.
And then the last big difference that I see is and it's kind of a similarity, but it's equipment upkeep, which is such an important thing in the car wash industry, right? If your tunnel is down, you're not able to wash cars. That means unhappy members and in the same instance, like no single wash business either. Whereas in the gym, if a treadmill is down, you probably have at least 7 other treadmills in that same corner of the gym that people can go and use. So, there's more value being questioned if your car wash upkeep isn't up to snuff. Whereas you can kind of get away with a little bit more in the gym. Something that the leaders of our company who started in the gym business always say is, the only people who notice when your gym equipment isn't working is the owner of the gym. It isn't the people using it. that's totally different in the car wash industry. So these are just a couple really big differences that we see and that we try to, like, as we continue to evolve from people who did gym membership into people that, own membership in car washing. There's always things you need to be aware of and consider when you look at the model.
All right, interesting. Yeah, I know for me personally, my busy time for the gym is January, and then I like to take February and through December off is for some downtime. You need those maintenance months, right, Max?
Yeah, 11 months of maintenance sounds about right. Yeah, for sure.
I know it's hard to tell with these guns, but All right. What obviously operators with membership are getting a lot of data on their customers, right? There's no shortage of insight that they can find out about customers' wash habits and so on and so forth. But when looking at all of this data, what are some of the most important metrics or categories to monitor when judging the success of a car wash membership program?
For sure. I mean, there's a couple obvious things, right? Like member count and revenue. If you have a lot of members and you're making more money, that's success. But there's obviously some deeper stats we can look at. Maybe the most important one that we look at is conversion of non-members to members. So for every non-member that visits a car wash, an attendant should be there to provide a sales pitch toward membership, right? And if you are converting a minimum of 10% of your regular customers into members, you're in pretty good shape. Now, a really good operator can and should achieve a conversion rate of 20 to 30% because membership is such a great deal, right? For the cost of around 2 washes, you can wash as many times as you want in a month. Why wouldn't you take that offer up? But, especially when you're launching a membership program for the first time, you want to try to hit that 20 to 30, maybe even 40 to 50% conversion when you're first starting. If you can keep that, 10% conversion going long-term, you can avoid any of that plateauing that some operators see when they launch a membership program. So conversion rate is a huge thing that we look at. The other thing is lifetime value, and this is, you can always look at revenue as the biggest thing, but lifetime value is really the biggest thing in membership. It's really the total amount of revenue generated from a member from the time they purchase their membership to the time they cancel. So, the easy way to look at this number is if the average car owner washes only 4 times per year at $15 per wash, that's what, $60. Whereas you look at the lifetime value of a member who pays $30 a month and stays on for an entire year is much greater. I'm not great at math on the spot, so you guys can multiply 30 by 12. It's much bigger than $60. I can guarantee you that. So lifetime value is another huge number we look at. And then here's kind of a left field thing for you, Rich. Single wash business. We actually see that with our most successful membership partners, their single wash business begins eclipsing their personal annual records pretty quickly. And that's because when you have a busy, attractive, well-visited lot, it attracts more people who may not have even noticed you in the past. Here's an example. You're driving down Main Street in your hometown, Rich, and you see this new restaurant that just opened, right? And there's only 2 people in there eating, a shabby-looking burger. They're not really talking to each other. They're not really having a good time. Do you want to go visit that restaurant? Probably not.
We got to pass. Yeah.
Right? But if you see a steakhouse open and the parking lot is full, there's people in there enjoying a steak, drinking wine, having a great time talking to each other, you want to visit that restaurant. You want to put that on your list of things to do in town. Why should car washing be any different? And we see with our data that it isn't. When people see a busy site, they feel like they can trust that site with their own car and take their business there, spend their money there. So a successful membership program supports successful cash and single wash business as well.
Okay. And you're talking to the right guy. I'm not passing up a good steak or a good time any day of the week, Max. That's for sure. So that's good to, and what to focus on when you're looking to grow and maintain your membership program. But what can you do about it, right? Like, what are the best ways to reduce churn and increase retention if I'm a car wash operator?
Yeah, for sure. So, it goes back to kind of what I was saying earlier. It goes back down to good experiences and top-notch service, right? If you're not washing a car well, if you're not providing good customer experience when the member shows up and your greeter isn't, being personal with them, isn't being, giving them the extra VIP touch. I mean, people are going to cancel and attrition out. So providing a good experience and top-notch service is obviously the top of the line item. But, things we can do under the hood, there's plenty of strategies. And I think the most important one as director of marketing and communications is digital communications, engagement, and keeping people connected with your brand, right? So, with Everwash, we partner with washes across the country, and we handle a lot of their communications, right? So when people are, when a wash is closed for the day, we message their members immediately so that way they can avoid taking a trip to a closed wash, creating a better experience, right? We want people to feel happy and connected to our brand as well. So, this past month, May, was Mental Health Awareness Month. So we did a little check-in for our members via email, or if they prefer push notifications or text messages, we just did a little mental health check-in. How are you doing today? Just wanted to let you know that we care about you and hope that you're having a great month this month and every other month moving forward, right? We tie that back to social media campaigns and encourage people to post their happy experiences at the car wash with us on Facebook and on Instagram. So it's just keeping people engaged, right? The other thing that we use is through our communications platform is just upselling the right things at the right times. We know that people who have multiple memberships on our platform are less likely to cancel because, again, it's more of an emotional and financial attachment to their car and to the local car wash. So we use our app to upsell things like getting additional memberships, right? And making it easy to do that. Maybe offering a discount to do that. On Cinco de Mayo, we did Cinco 5 promo, which was for that 1 week, around Cinco de Mayo, you could add an additional vehicle for $5. And it was actually a really successful campaign for us. We saw a lot of redemptions. And I know we're only a month out, but we saw very little cancellations on those additional vehicles for those who did opt into that promo so far. So that was really great. And then I think the other thing, and it kind of ties into this, but it's just creating a more personal experience on site as well. And, Everwash has a product called, Everwash Analytics, which is powered by OmniX Labs, which allows us to use cameras to create a more personalized experience for customers as they enter. So, for example, if you have an OmniX equipped site with some digital panels that we put in there, when you pull up, we take a snapshot of your license plate. And even if you're an unattended wash, the display board inside the tunnel will say, "Welcome, Rich. We're excited to see you. Enjoy your wash. And don't forget to, send a referral or like us on Facebook." So creating a personal and engaging experience, even if you don't have an attendant, goes a long way. And there's really awesome technology that's out there right now that makes for that process to be possible.
Yeah, and let those super users also be a marketing extension of your company too. And the more they use your wash and are happy with it, obviously they're going to tell more people who are going to tell more people and tell more people, right?
That's a great thing to bring up, Rich. We actually use our communications platform to understand when super users graduate into becoming super users. So if you use the wash 3 or more times, we kind of put you in another bucket and we'll message you different things. So if you're a super user, we're not going to remind you to come and visit the wash. You're already doing that enough, right? Instead, we're going to send you communications that help you refer a friend or give a gift, help further evangelize Everwash and the car wash that you're visiting. So again, that's kind of tie in everything we're talking about, the data with the communications platform to create a better experience that ultimately leads to less attrition overall.
All right, sounds good. Well, I just got one more question for you, Max. Unfortunately, maybe end on a bit of a down note or something a little bit less positive here, and that's something none of us can escape from these days. And then that's the this conversation of a potential pending recession here, and what we're headed towards. Seems like we've been talking about this for way too long, and I think all of us are ready to just see the other side of this, right? So how would a recession impact car wash membership? Because, this industry has never gone through a cycle where membership was so prevalent, if you will, in this market. So how would a recession impact car wash membership? Maybe how does it impact gym membership as kind of a comparison, and how should operators if at all, prepare now their businesses for a significant economic slowdown in the near future?
Yeah, it's obviously a great question, and it's a tough question to approach because no one likes to be negative, and hopefully I'm an eternal optimist. I hope the world figures itself out and we don't deal with this and we end up on the other side, but we have to prepare. And I think the bottom line is the operators who are prepared to evolve and prepared for a recession are in better shape than those who are not and are kind of just flying by the seat of their pants right now. So get yourself ready now. Get a membership program going now. Get that recurring revenue going, right? But to your question about the gym industry and recessions, we see the gym industry as largely recession resilient, and that's because no matter what, people will always be out of shape, right? And on the same note, cars will always be dirty. And on kind of the flip side, people can work out at home, but it's not as easy to get a professional level ceramic coating, tire shine, car wash service from your front yard, from your driveway, right? So because of that, we still see this as a largely recession resilient kind of program. And part of that is also from the fact that, it is a use as much as you want kind of a thing. So, people might see their disposable income, shrinking in a recession. But if you still know that you can wash your car every day for 30 days, $1 a day in most cases, is that really going to be the first thing that you decide to chop off of your list? We don't really think so. And COVID was a really great example of that. COVID was almost like, yes, the disposable income was a lot different with the stimulus packages and everything that the government had planned for us. But you're still looking at a similar kind of like major economic scary event for consumers. And once the washes were able to reopen, and a lot of our washes stayed open throughout the entire pandemic because of contactless scanning and app-based business. But people like that escape, and a recession is a similarly sad, depressing kind of time. And, when people can look to a low-cost activity that, can get the family out to go get a car wash, it's kind of a nice break. Not to mention, cars have not gotten any cheaper. Financing has not gotten any easier. And car washing is a direct protection of that investment that, you can't escape. You need a car to get to work in most cases, right? So in a recession, that's not going to stop you from driving your car or buying a car. But a car wash membership can help protect that investment and make sure that it's always looking clean, running well, not getting rust. If you're buying a used car, you want to, keep that mileage going. A car wash membership is a really helpful way to do that. So again, we see some concern on the horizon, but just looking at the past 4 years of tumultuous scenarios that we run through in this industry and globally as a whole, I think that we're prepared to see a recession through and keep our operators running along with us.
Yeah, certainly good news and a great point with COVID. I talked to a lot of operators, and during those early days and months of COVID, many of them were actually reporting record car counts and sales. So it's wasn't all bad news for operators, fortunately, compared to some others, right? So, well, I appreciate you doing this podcast with me here today, Max. You got me hungry enough thinking about steaks. And actually, I know you're a Philadelphia guy. Are you on Team Geno's or are you Team Pat's? Do we have a preference?
I'm Team Pat's all the way. Team Pat's all the way. I was telling you earlier, Rich, my family's actually from Italy. And the founder of Pat's is from the same region that my family is from. So it's truly a matter of paisan in this situation.
Exactly. I'm a Pat's guy too. Really, is there even any comparison, right, Max?
No, never. But if next time you're in Philly, Rich, we got the best cheesesteak in town is actually right across the Falls Bridge from our office. It's called D'Alessandro's. They're the best. So next time you're around, let me know. It's on me.
All right, sounds good. I'll take you up on that if I can pry myself away from the gym, right, Max?
Oh, right. We're going to need a resolution after you eat that cheesesteak, that's for sure.
Exactly. All right, great seeing you again, Max. Thanks again for doing this.
You as well, Rich. Thanks for having me. Take care.